A disturbance in the stew, I feel. New Jedi listeners. Strong they are. Subscribe they must. Yes?
Hello there.
Incoming transmission.
You will go to the Dagobah system. There you will learn from Yoda, Master of the Stew.
A Jedi's strength flows from the stew.
There'll be no one to stop us this time.
Strong is the stew.
Yoda. You seek Yoda.
Yes.
Hello there and welcome to Yoda Stew, the strongest stew in the galaxy. A Jedi's strength flows from the stew. This is your dedicated spot for all things Star Wars. I'm your host, Ezra, here to guide you through the latest Star Wars news, insights, and discussion from a galaxy far, far away.
Red 12 standing by.
Red 6 standing by.
Red 4, standing by.
Red 11, standing by.
Red 9, standing by.
Red 2, standing by.
Lock as foils in attack position.
I have a bad feeling about this.
And you thought they smelled bad on the outside.
Hello friends, welcome back to Yoda Stew, the fire still crackling, and we are here with Acolyte, episode 5.
Oh, 5, okay.
Episode 5, which means this one's down, all right? This one's down like all the Jedi that were down in this episode.
Spoiler,
sorry. But yeah, we've got, I guess there's 8, so we've got episode, that was 5, so we got what, 6, 7, 8, 3 more to go.
3 more? Okay.
Yeah. Which we're gonna talk about here in a second, but
Yeah.
let's get some non-spoilers out of the way.
Mhm.
Lottie knows I'm always going to toss it to her. I want to see what she thinks here without spoiling anything.
Mhm.
I already did. Jedi died. Okay, sorry. What do you think?
A
Though?
few.
Well, just in general, thoughts overall, initial impressions, I should say, I guess, of the episode.
Okay, so there were some really cool fighting scenes, but a lot of it I want to say I don't understand. Maybe yet.
Yeah.
And also, it's just me. Sometimes I that's just how
Yeah.
I don't follow everything too well, but I don't know. For
It's
me,
okay.
it was just a few things that happened that I couldn't really, and you might be able to tell me more
Mhm.
about it because you understand the Jedi Order better or
Right.
what characters like that would do in this situation. But otherwise, I really want to point out like there's some cool moments of Soul and
Yeah.
Jackie.
Yeah.
And
Sorry.
no non-spoiler.
That's
But
yeah.
but overall I still don't know what this is supposed to tell me yet.
Yeah, that's okay. So mixed messaging, not really sure
Yeah.
where it's going. If you had to say, Haribot, I'll put you on the spot.
Okay.
If you had to say, do you like it or do you not like it? Is it a thumbs up or a thumbs down, or is it a middle sort of like thumb? Thumbs up, thumbs down, or middle? 3 options.
I think it's I think it would be like
the mid.
a middle like leaning towards like down.
And that's
a little
wild because this is the episode that has all the action,
Yeah.
all the boom, 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 like lightsaber.
And that was kind of cool.
That was
but
cool. Yes. So for me,
I have to rewatch it. I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Lottie doesn't know. I am actually right here in the center, slightly
Yeah,
up,
Okay.
slightly up.
That's good.
Which is interesting because now we're gonna go full spoiler. We've already spoiled 2 things.
Yeah.
Okay. The Jedi are dropping like flies,
Yeah.
dropping like flies out here, and you know who's not dropping like a fly is that Sith Lord.
No.
The flies actually came and tried to get him and pick him up high in the air and drop him like a fly, and nothing happened.
Nope.
He got him. He literally took him out.
Yep.
So anyway, I don't even know from like a combat like what was going. We don't really know because Osha gets knocked out. In the last
Right.
episode, we saw super force powers here in terms of just like a flick of the wrist, boom, tosses Osha to the side, and then just mega force push all these Jedi, right? We wake up, one is dead. I'm not exactly sure what the count is in terms of how many Jedi died in this episode,
Yeah.
but I would say it's up. I mean, all of them except for Soul, right?
Right. And
So how
Osha's not a Jedi. May's not a Jedi. So
Kel Naka's dead. Indara is dead.
Saul's the only one who's
Torben's
leading the
dead.
ship on the ship. Yeah.
So I think a lot of people were saying like, hey, look, if we come across the Sith Lord, they
They all have to die.
They all have to die. All the Jedi have to die. And it sounds like that's exactly, and it seems like that's exactly what's going to happen, except for the Acolytes.
Right.
Right. So now, I say Acolytes plural because you got twins here. I don't know who's who. They switch costumes at the end.
Yeah.
I gotta say there were some cool lightsaber scenes. There were some cool ones.
Yeah.
There were some quirky ones that were also like, what's going on?
Mm.
But the Jecki stuff, she's sick.
Yeah.
She is absolutely sick, and she was going nuts.
Yes.
And I did love when she was like arresting May. I was like, get her.
Yeah.
Get her. Like, I'm like, lock her up. She's killed Jedi. You are under arrest.
Mm-hmm.
Now, unfortunately, that's the hero always does that. You got to read them their Miranda rights. Okay. Like, hey, before I can full on arrest you here, I've almost got you cuffed. I'm going to start talking to give you an out here. And I'm going to read you your rights or whatever, or tell you all the Jedi that you've killed before I get that one last, cuff link on. My gosh, she was so close to getting her. But anyways, Jecki's good. I actually was worried she was going to get killed by May.
Yeah.
There, and I was not going to be happy about that because I wanted to see her kind of go toe to toe with this Sith Lord. To be honest with you, if they all have to die, let's go. Let's have at it.
Yeah.
And holy cow, she did. And to see her fight side by side with Master Soul was
there it is.
Was cool. Yeah, we've got it on the background, and it's
she
really
knocked
sick.
She knocked his mask off.
Absolutely, she did. Absolutely, she did. But that cost her, right?
Yeah.
He kills her. Holy smokes, man. I said last episode that I was frustrated with this show because, again, Master Indara, dead. Master Torben, who is Tommen Baratheon, by the way. I didn't know that till Matt pointed that out.
Really?
Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah, King Tommen. So King Tommen is killed. He's dead again. Jeezy cow. And so Tommen's dead. And then you've got Kel Naka dead. Didn't even get to see him ignite a lightsaber. Right. Nothing. Jeez.
Well, we saw his lightsaber being ignited, but not
which was
him.
cool. Which was cool. Glad Jecki took that up and went crazy. All of these Jedi are going to be killed, and I get it now. I guess like if they're, and I don't know what other folks are going to say in all their streams. We know everybody's streaming. We know the big timers are out there having a heyday with this and going crazy. I'm going to be on this episode a little more. I think they're turning the corner, and I'm interested to see what folks are going to say.
Yeah.
Like if none of these Jedi make it out and they all are killed, then I think that's interesting. What Master Ki-Adi-Mundi, all right? Ki-Adi-Mundi, last episode, what they all saw was actually a hollow of May fighting. Right. So it was May.
Yeah. No red lightsaber.
No. Right. And this is still like who trained her, who's training somebody. And then, Venestra is clearly under like, I can tell it's a Jedi. Yeah. Obviously it's a Jedi. It's one of our own who has gone rogue. And I think the big deal has been if there is a red lightsaber that is ignited in front of Jedi, those Jedi should not be going back and reporting we saw a red lightsaber ignited.
No. Yeah.
So it looks like
Soul's probably not going to make it, and Osha and May are going to go their own way.
And maybe, walk away from the Jedi and never come back. And they're not really, neither of them is affiliated with the Jedi. No. Would they need to tell anything about it? They might just, it's a tragedy and they're out. You would think the Jedi would put out a hunt for them, though.
Right, investigate how many Jedi were killed. We just
we lost a whole strike team out here on Kofar.
Yeah.
Right. This is pretty crazy. You would imagine that at the end of this, we're going to get an epilogue where, like, and I know they said Master Yoda is not available, but like some of the great masters need to come and check this out because Kel Naka is on to some sort of lore or something with the power of two, the swirl, the yin and yang symbols on the wall there. So he definitely was investigating something. I'm not sure what it was, but we'll never get to talk to Kel Naka. That's just freaking awful.
No.
It's awful. This is a whole show where all the Jedi are just being killed. Yeah. It's literally just a string of Jedi murders. That's all it is. Right. And again, it's the Acolyte. So this is about a situation where a Sith wants to flex, does flex a little bit, is actually trying to stir the pot and actively sending an Acolyte against the Jedi, which is interesting. I have to say this. So to the lore people out there who are like, man, this is complete bull crap. I can't believe they're doing this. I will say that it does seem like Darth Sidious, Emperor Palpatine, was telling Darth Maul to not do that very thing. It seems like there are comics and they were very cautious about revealing themselves specifically to Jedi. And it's a very interesting comment. An interesting comic where I can't even talk. Where Darth Maul is actually sent on a mission and comes across another Jedi. This is a 2017 comic. I think it is just called Darth Maul. And he essentially is fighting, he fights a Padawan, this Jedi Padawan. And he's told by his master not to ignite his lightsaber, not to engage the Jedi, not to do these things. And his master is Darth Sidious, right?
Right.
It's because they don't want the Jedi to know that they exist. They don't want them to know that they are out in the shadows. And actually, Chimere or Darth, what's his name?
Yeah.
I don't know. He says, I have no name. No name. And that kind of fits with lore. There's a lot of these Sith Lords that have no name.
Yeah.
Thought that was kind of interesting. He is no one, right? And he essentially says that, like, this is the rules. The rules are none of you can escape. None of you are allowed to live. None of the Jedi are allowed to live.
Yeah.
You guys say so. This is the rules. It was almost like a breaking of the fourth wall, kind of like us, the audience, sort of say, hey, all these Jedi need to die. And he's like, watch this, they're all going to die. And they do.
Yeah.
They do. So I think that's kind of a little bit of a turning point, a little bit of a plus for what's happening here. It sucks because we liked these characters and I thought they were kind of cool. And we developed their character. We developed sort of these relationships between, like, Jecki seems to be interested in Osha. They both have an interesting dynamic with Yord, and we're learning about them. Yord is like respectful of Master Soul, and none of it matters.
No.
That's, I think, the problem is that none of it matters. All these different relationships that we were building among that group do not matter. The Sith strike and the Sith Lord takes them all out. So I get, again, people, I would imagine that if you were somebody who was super critical of the show, you would start to say, okay, yeah, that's kind of what they have to do, right? They kind of have to kill all of these Jedi, and Master Soul cannot make it back. It's going to be a mystery where the whole strike force is annihilated, and it's really a dark side show about a Sith. And he is pretty cool. I gotta say that the actor who does so Chimere, the Dark Lord, I thought for sure it was going to be one of the witches from the Coven or something. I thought it was going to be total female pop out there, but no, he was he was undercover. And I think that might be another thing did you like that or not like that? You know, the fact that Chimere ends up being the Sith Lord, the person behind the mask. Did you like it or not?
Well, before
Be
he
honest.
revealed his face, I kept saying that'd be lame if it was him. What? Like,
right.
I don't know. I didn't like the idea of it. And he seemed like almost not interesting. Not interested in anything really. He's just like, not super passionate about anything. And we don't know his story really, but I have a hard time, I don't know, like seeing him as the villain.
I know. We don't know. We don't really know much. We just know that we've got to see a different side of him talking to May, and it seems like he's towards the end he showed sort of a tender kind of moment where he wrapped up his acolyte. It's actually Osha laying there, right? And her clothes have been taken and she's been swapped. Like her sister is actually secretly now with Soul, and Soul doesn't recognize her or smell the singeing of the hair from the lightsaber. But okay, Soul's like, everybody kind of got, close to the saber out here. Perfect haircut, by the way. Wow. So anyways, that was kind of ridiculous. That moment was a little bit ridiculous, but whatever. So yeah, it's like he has this tender moment with his acolyte, and it seems like that's the only thing he cares about is really just this idea of getting a companion who can be with him and be with him on this dark endeavor where he feels, the dark side seems to be of his nature. He
doesn't want to suppress it. He felt suppressed by the Jedi. He couldn't express this side of him. He had to lock it away somehow.
Right.
He didn't like that. But what is his story with the witches? Like, it feels like he's known them for longer, but maybe not. Maybe it's just
he can read their minds.
That's right.
I think that's
But-
all it
but
is.
what-
I think he can just get it. He
Can
got
he-
inside of her mind.
Can
yeah.
he do things that the witches could do? Because remember, OSHA said, and I
right.
think this is for us, so we believe it's one of her mothers.
Yeah.
When she says, "My mother could do that," so did the witches train him in some of their arts? And
Maybe. No, or the other way around. This is what's going to tick people off
Hmm.
is that he trained them.
Okay.
And then people are like, what? Like a Sith Lord is able to train the witches in this power. And maybe that's like how they acquired it is to make a deal with the devil. And he
Hmm.
being the devil
Okay,
or his
yeah.
master before him.
Yeah.
Maybe he had a master who worked with the witches and taught them how to make these special force babies. And then ultimately he and his master were going to collect those twins anyways.
Okay.
And I kind of
Oh,
think
yeah.
that might be where they're headed. We don't know. I'm throwing that out there with 3
Just an
episodes left.
interesting
Like,
thought. Yeah.
there's got to be something. There has to
Yeah.
be some other.
A connection to that. I
Yeah.
mean, he also keeps saying Soul and the other Jedi might have done something during that fire. It really seems like May didn't kill anyone there, and we knew
Right.
that from the beginning because all of them were dead. May didn't really. She was just upset and
Right.
started the fire, which was also pretty bad. But she would never kill all
She's a child.
her
Yeah, she's
yeah,
a child. Yeah,
her mothers.
Soul did something. Soul and those Jedi killed those witches.
Yeah.
They did. And that's what he's kind of talking about with their darkness. What have you done with your dark side? Right?
Right.
You've hidden it, you've buried it, you pretend it doesn't exist, and you're ashamed of it or whatever. And actually Soul beats him. I'm like, dude, get him. That's what I was saying. There's some
oh
good
my
moments where I was
goodness.
like, Master Soul, just take him out, dude.
It was such a good moment, but it was so ridiculous how OSHA was like stopping Soul from killing Kymir just so she could feed him then to the bugs, which didn't kill him.
Yeah,
Like why did you think the bugs could kill this guy if none of the Jedi could?
I think they're gonna say that like OSHA was trying to keep Soul from going full dark side there and cutting him down because Jedi don't do that. They don't, Are you kidding me? He just killed
I know.
absolutely every
He just
single
killed
person out
Yord
there.
and Jackie in front of you.
Yeah, you just in the moment that you disarm him. So like, let's say his lightsaber hits the ground. Okay, fights off. Fights off. We're backing up. We're
Yeah.
backing up here. All right.
Yeah.
Pick your saber back up. I want to strike you down with your saber in your hand. No, you cut his arm off.
Yeah.
If you cut both of his arms off and he's completely defenseless like that, okay.
Yeah.
But this dude is still fighting you and struggling against you. Strike him down. Strike him down.
Yeah.
Have to.
You have to do something.
And
yeah,
that was a little ridiculous.
Yeah.
I guess that OSHA is like, she's saying she can kind of feel the force again. And so then she's, reaching out to Soul, not wanting him to go full dark side. And then she's listening to this conversation. What does he mean, Soul? What is he saying?
Right.
What about you? And I feel like she is force sensitive. She does know that Soul hid something and that there's there's something in her past that is hidden from her
Yeah.
that
And
May
he
knows
wanted to
more
explain-
about.
Yeah.
Yeah, May has been told a truth that the Jedi did not tell OSHA.
Yeah.
So gotta say that the actress who's playing OSHA and May, right? She's doing a great job.
Yeah.
Because actually, I keep kind of forgetting. I'm seeing them as two different people.
Yeah, I do too.
Totally. So I
Mhm.
gotta say, she's killing it. Absolutely killing it. The actress that plays Jackie, awesome as well. All of the actors, I feel like they are doing a good job in terms of their acting.
Yeah.
It is great, and the choreography was pretty good. I feel like it was pretty hardcore.
Well, that was definitely the strong point
Yeah.
of this episode. 100%. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think people will be knocking it for that, but it won't surprise me if they do. But I'm like, come on, you have to be able to give this show some points and say that some good things are going down. I think the biggest problem with this show, honest to God, is that they should have just this is one of those times I've disagreed, like with when Andor came out or Kenobi or whatever, and they were kind of milking episodes and they're like, okay, Kenobi should have been maybe 4 episodes instead of however long it was, and they had all these extra fillers. I'm like, whatever, not that big of a deal. It's okay. And this is the first time where I actually think they should have just dropped it all at once.
Yeah.
And had a binger. Oh, but I
Yeah.
know Disney doesn't want to do that, but I think this is where you look at like what is a good project for a movie and what is not.
Oh, for sure. This would be better for a movie.
A movie, because
it feels like a movie.
yeah, it feels like it really should be. Especially, I was almost a little upset when I saw the runtime and we started this. I'm like, cool, another 30-minute episode.
Yeah.
Here we go. These 2 should have just been 1 episode. This is ridiculous. Like,
Yeah.
come on. And you got to get over that. And just, I'm covering it, right? It's one of those things we're covering for a show. So like you have to, I'm happy that we have it, but at the same time, you do almost wonder if it suffers a little bit from that.
Yeah.
And that's just our critique on it. I think when you go back and you look at a whole show, I think we'll think of it a little bit differently. Every time you rewatch something, you spend more time with it, it'll grow on you. It'll get a little bit better.
Yeah.
The bit about the witches creating Ocean May, that's still going to get to people. Ki-Adi-Mundi being 150 years old is still going to get. By the way, last episode, friends, we didn't know that was Ki-Adi-Mundi.
Yeah.
When you and I were recording, we had no clue.
Yeah.
We got off and I saw the credits thing and I instantly made a short about how he's 150 years old. And I was like, wow, that's crazy. I had no idea. I thought it was his cousin.
Yeah.
I thought it was just like his dad maybe or something, you know, I had no clue.
Yeah.
Wild. Actually, I think it was, who was it real quick? Oh, my phone. Yeah, I do. I got a message about this and I thought it was pretty funny. I think this is from Tino. Tino said that was looking at the Ki-Adi-Mundi scandal situation there and how the accent between the Phantom Menace and now, like between what we have here in the Acolyte and the Phantom Menace, his accent totally shifts. Like it's an American accent now, and it starts off, it'll be like more British towards the end or something. I was like, wow.
Did he have a line, really?
Ki-Adi-Mundi?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So yeah.
Crazy.
Anyway, I'm okay with this episode. I just think that everyone's gone. And it's kind of the thing that I guess everybody was saying needed to happen, and they did it, right? So I really am interested. This seems to be the way you do it. You got to kill Master Soul. I can almost see now how this is going to play out, which is fine. I didn't expect it, really. I thought they were going to drag this out even longer. So it kind of came to like what felt like almost a climax really here.
Right.
I feel like I feel like we should only have one episode to go. You know what I'm saying? We had the fact that we have so many more. I could be wrong about how many.
You just need to explain what happened, but then also what's gonna happen to Chimere because he can't live either.
Well, I guess he can if he maybe he does maybe May does go on to be the Acolyte and does redeem herself and goes on with him or something. I think he could kill Soul. He could kill Master Soul, or she could kill him because she's with him. Yeah. Redeem herself in the eyes of her master and come back.
Right. And
maybe he goes on to train both of these twins. I don't know. Like it could be, as long as the Jedi can't report anything back and no report makes it.
There is
only one.
No, wait. What did they say? Only two?
Yeah, there's two.
There's only two.
Oh, a master and apprentice. I got you now. I got you. Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, he'd have to have them fight it out. The twins would fight it, and whoever wins gets to stay on as the Acolyte. Jeez.
Plus, he also doesn't really 100% identify as a Sith. He was like, okay, you would call me a Sith if you have to put me in a
that was weird,
box.
Right.
That would be it. But it doesn't seem like he's very connected to their traditions either. Like he doesn't, the teachings and wisdoms of the Sith is not really
he quotes the Sith
he wants to
code at one point. He
does.
But he does say you would call me a Sith. I mean, flat out says the word, which is sort of like, okay, the Sith have been extinct, you know. So that's kind of interesting. But I almost wonder if he's not a Sith, but he himself has a master. That's what I kind of think, is that he has a master himself that he reports back to at the end of all of this. He goes back to his, like, maybe May and Ocean, everybody's dead. But Chimere goes back. We find this little epilogue. They're investigating what happened. Everyone involved in this is killed. Chimere killed everybody. He, at the very last credit, before the credits roll, he goes back and kneels before his master. I could see that happening. And I'd be like, okay, that cool. He was out trying to get his own apprentice so he could overthrow his master. That's what they do. That's what they do. They actually have to, they'll overthrow. I mean, it happens in with Darth Sidious. Darth Sidious's apprentice is Count Dooku. Who is Count Dooku's apprentice or acolyte? It's Asajj Ventress. So you have like three of them working at once there. And so it's possible that that's kind of what maybe he's working for here, is saying he's the Sith apprentice, but he is also trying to acquire an acolyte. Yeah. Could be wrong. He looked pretty strong. He looked pretty epic. I mean, he's thrashing Jedi all around that forest. So I do not know.
What was up with that? The problem they had with the lightsaber reigniting?
I have no idea. I think that is something in Legends. There is a metal. I think whatever his helmet is made out of deactivates the lightsabers.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. So if you hit it,
them.
then they had to wait for a little bit and they could reignite it.
Right. It seems like maybe if they were trying to strike him in with the helmet area, I'm not exactly sure. I I have to go back and look and see how he was deactivating it. Was he hitting it with his hand or his gauntlet? Was there something on his skin and gauntlet? It looked like he had something there that maybe was causing it to deactivate. Maybe he was using the force. I gotta watch it again. Honestly, I gotta go back and see that because I was like, what the heck is happening?
Yeah.
Kind of cool, but I think it has something to do. There is a Legends connection there, and I thought that they did say they're going to try to do that. They're going to try to bring in some neat little things like that. So yeah. Are you upset though that all these Jedi are gone?
Well,
I mean,
a little bit, but I guess like you said, it had to happen for it to make sense.
yeah.
But now it's like I am excited to see what's going to happen next and how they explain everything that happened in the past and who he really is. But also all the characters I cared about are gone, so it's like less.
Well, actually, hold on a second.
What?
I just thought of something. Vanestra.
Yeah.
She's there, right? We have this. We saw in the trailer in the promotional stuff. She has a lightsaber whip, so we actually see her in a jungle kind of forest setting, and she throws back her whip, and it turns into it's a lightsaber whip that she will use. It's something from the High Republic. Seems like she's going to be. Why would she be using that unless she's using it against this Sith Lord? Does she come to her end here? Does she also go out and is killed as well? Like that's just a lot of Jedi to be killing. And then how would the Jedi not? Here's the other thing. All they have to do too is go look at these bodies and see a bunch of lightsaber wounds, lightsaber stabs.
Yeah.
These Jedi were killed by lightsaber.
Someone with a lightsaber.
Yeah. So you would raise the suspicion that, okay, even if we didn't see that red blade, and Yoda doesn't see it or whatever, Kiadi-Mundi doesn't see it.
But it looks like somebody's using the dark.
They all were killed by lightsaber. Yeah. The other ones weren't, right? The other ones were just killed by daggers and we weren't using a weapon. And that was interesting. And that's something that, Sidious was telling Maul when he was attacking creatures and beasts and he was out there using his powers, do not ignite the red lightsaber. And that's a dead giveaway.
It's what seemed like the Acolyte was supposed to do that, right? Kill without a lightsaber to not leave a trace like that. And now...
Seems like that.
Yeah.
So
maybe it's a different jungle that we see her in.
Yeah, maybe they go to a different planet or we track that Sith Lord down. Maybe it's the fact that Osha or May probably tells like what she knows, where she meets with her master and gives some intel over maybe, but that'd be too much. That's what you've almost done this whole thing where you've set us up to say, okay, the Sith Lord did what he's supposed to do, which is kill all the Jedi.
Yeah.
And it makes me think of like Sith Lords who say, you want to go out and you have this hunger and this desire to fight and combat Jedi because you hate them and the Sith hate the Jedi. And it's hard to kind of hold back your Sith apprentice from doing that.
Yeah.
It feels like Chimere is an apprentice who was allowed to go do it, but he knows the rules. The rules are you got to kill them all. If one of them gets away, we're exposed and we are not ready. Where there's a master plan that they're building towards.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. None of the Sith Lords really know when it is that they're trying to grow and amass power and reclaim some of their access to maybe like Sith holocrons or artifacts, and they're trying to grow in the shadows, right?
Yeah.
They don't know which of them is going to be the one that is like going to strike and actually make the
is Palpatine the chosen one just on the other side,
Sith,
right?
Yeah, right. He's the one who so Bane and all of his descendants, if you will, descendants in terms of like his apprentice and then his apprentice, her apprentice, and so on and all down the line from Bane, where he creates the rule of two. Somewhere, somebody's got to step up and say, I'm taking out the Jedi.
Yeah.
So you would not risk exposing your order, the existence of the Sith. That's the whole thing. You've been unharassed by the Jedi. The Jedi don't harass and look for you necessarily because you stick to the shadows.
Right.
You don't pull out your red lightsaber and let everybody know that you are a Sith and the Sith are back.
Right.
They will stamp you out straight up. So that, and I don't think it's a line that's been broken. I think there's literally been an apprentice and a Sith master and a Sith apprentice, clear from the time of Bane, which is like 1,000 years ago, all the way down until we see Darth Sidious and Darth Maul. So yeah, I feel like they all have to die. So Sol is going to die. Maybe May, maybe Osha, and Leslie Headland did say that this is all going to come to an end and the story will be told. It will be closed, as in terms of this season 1 will be over and we never have to make another one. There doesn't have to be a season 2. Seriously, she's like, it will be a complete story. There's a way to have a second season 2, but it's a one and done. She didn't think, I don't think not that she didn't think she would get another opportunity, but you never know. So
Right.
go ahead and close it. Go ahead and leave some mystery boxes that could be explored for season 2, and then go ahead and just boom, close the door on this. And I think the door closed is Master Soul is gone, and the Jedi somehow have a mystery in their hands, and they don't really know what happened. But it's gonna be a tough one.
Yeah.
All those bodies have got to disappear, and they're gonna have to do something. And he's still there. He could make all those bodies disappear. That's
True.
the thing.
That's
he
true.
could do that. So yeah, yes.
Question for you: is it a Jedi-like thing to just leave your Padawan's body behind? I mean, it felt like
I know it feels bad.
he didn't
doesn't
really
it?
even shed a tear, and really, I don't know, maybe it was because, adrenaline was high. They're trying to get out of there. He wants to get Osha to safety, or who he thinks is
Yeah.
Osha. But it was
I will say that is one thing that I think is lacking in the show.
yeah.
Like when Obi-Wan loses his master, the scream, they make it a
Yeah.
moment. No, it's this like death cry from a Padawan, right? And it's
Yeah.
like, whoa.
And this is his second Padawan,
Yeah.
technically, that he loses, even
Now,
though Osha
Master-
didn't die. But
Right. Master Soul did kind of have that moment.
know.
A little bit, which was good. And I was like, okay, we got it. We have a little bit of that going on. All right, let's get him. At
Mhm.
that point, I was like, go whoop him.
Yeah.
Like I will say this show had me invested in terms of like
Yeah.
I wanted Jackie to beat May down. I wanted
Yeah.
Soul to get after that guy. I'm like, let's go. I've had enough of these Jedi die. I liked Yord as much as
Yeah.
as weird and quirky as he was and whatnot. I can't believe he killed him. I'm like, oh
Yeah.
my god, cheesy cat. Like somebody show some emotion. And I
Yeah.
think the person who didn't show emotion that we wanted more emotion from was Osha.
Yeah.
And that was the thing. Master Soul definitely was showing a lot of emotion and was really distraught and
Right.
fighting back his own sort of demons and emotions, lost his Padawan. He still has to stay in the moment and fight this dude. But Osha, it feels like she should have been screaming.
Right.
Like when
And she's like-
Yord gets killed. I mean, I think she was there, right? Wasn't she there to
She
see
definitely
Yord?
saw him.
I thought she saw Yord get killed.
But she was
pretty
like,
sure.
no, Soul, don't kill this guy.
Yeah.
I'm going to feed him to the bugs.
It's like killing him, Master Soul. Get
Right?
him. I mean, he just killed my girlfriend, Jackie,
Yeah.
who the actress said, Daphne Keene, I think, said that they were playing that whole scene as like she had kind of a crush on Osha. I'm like, hi, what's up? Let's get drinks when we
Right.
come back to Coruscant.
Right.
So they're feeling each other out. And then she likes Yord. She's got a history with Yord.
Right.
But
They knew
they
each
grew up
other.
together.
When
grew
they
up
were
together.
little.
And that missed a little, I think. But I have to go back and
Same.
rewatch. I have to go back and rewatch it. I want to say we do these initial live, just boom, right after the episode. One takers, get her done. But it was Master Soul. He is, I think, the best part of the whole show.
Mhm.
That I gotta say, he is absolutely the best part. The emotion on his face,
Yeah.
the way he stood there in that duel when he was like, he had almost like a samurai stance, and he was
Yeah.
like there reading his movements, and he beats him.
Yeah.
He does beat
actually
him.
did.
And so I'm like, that's what
That's
a
what makes
master.
me mad at. Yeah. Osha.
Yeah,
a little
Osha.
bit.
I know.
Totally.
I thought they did that well, because sometimes you see like a master just get like, okay, if he's a Jedi master, he should be holding his own more.
Yeah.
I felt like when they all got blown back by the unexpected force push, I think to make that scene better, they should have had one man stand his ground and maybe slid back a little bit, but still standing
Yeah.
and bracing himself against that force put Master Soul.
Yeah.
While the rest of them just did just a slight little thing to have him stand there.
Mhm.
And you're like, okay, that distinguishes him. He
Right.
is a great Jedi master, and therefore he's still caught off guard, and he gets pushed back, and dust is in his eyes and everything, and he doesn't know where the Sith Lord is. But show little things like that that make him a master. And so in this episode, they did that. In this
Yeah.
episode, they did show him to be master level,
Yeah.
but a conflicted master with all these different things going on in Osha and whatnot. Just lost his Padawan.
Right.
And gosh, that is tough. That
Yeah.
is really tough for Master Soul to have lost Jackie. And Jackie did a great job,
Yeah.
by the way.
Yep.
Proud of that Padawan. Very proud of her, because she went in there and did everything that a Padawan should do. So
Yeah.
you see these kind of shining moments like that where I'm like, that's good. This is all really good.
Yeah.
Why couldn't we have I don't know.
Focus more on that. Yeah.
Yeah, there's just the quirkiness is there's a few things that have taken me. It'll probably grow. This is probably one of the shows that will grow on people.
Might be, yeah.
Depending on how they finish it, and
Right.
depending on
yeah.
more of the context that they give us in terms of the lore, I think it could finish well. Not well, but I mean, I think it's going to finish better than people expect, and it might grow on folks over the years. But despite a lot of the issues and backlash it's got for the first 4 episodes. So,
Do you think Osha and May are both going to survive?
wow, that's a great question. I kind of hope they don't.
Okay.
I kind of hope this is just a Sith Lord show where they all do die, because you've killed so many Jedi right now. This is almost like Order 66.
Right.
I mean, they're dropping like flies. I'm
Yeah.
like, this is crazy. So I would say, actually, I don't know. I could be wrong about this. Try to look at the in one event where so many Jedi were killed. Has there been an event like this? I'm thinking like High Republic. There probably is, but an event where this many Jedi were killed in one situation on one mission. It's, I mean, I know that we have obviously the Battle of Geonosis and stuff, or we have all this stuff that goes down there in the prequels. That's different. But like before that, this has to be the moment. I mean, it's all we have in lore, right? Where this is the most amount of Jedi who have been killed in one sort of outing mission. It's a lot. It's a lot, actually, because the Jedi are powerful, and it's not easy for this to happen, which means it should warrant a full-scale investigation, and Master Yoda should be told. Like,
right.
So
this might be a very noob question, but
that's fine. I love noob questions.
I remember you were reading books. The books were, but they were Legends books, right? So they were like the timeline a couple years before all this happens.
Yeah, you mean the High Republic books? Because those are canon.
But don't they have certain incidents where lots of Jedi get killed, and they're not Sith, but they're
the Marauders, what are they called? Marchion Row. It'll come to me. What are they called? Oh, it'll come to me in a second. Oh gosh, people are screaming at me right now. Like, Ez, you read this? I know, too many names going through my mind. The Nihil.
Nihil.
Thank you. You knew it. You act like you don't know anything.
No, wasn't sure if that was them or not.
Yes. So there were a lot of there were, and actually that's a really good point. At the start of the show, they made it seem like the Jedi had been at peace for so many hundreds of years. And you're like, what about all the High Republic? What about Starlight Beacon? What about all the stuff that happened there? So that's what I was trying to recall moments ago, which was like, what was there one situation where all these Jedi were killed all at once? Even that Nameless that got them all in the space station. Remember we were listening to that book where the Starlight Beacon is falling from the sky. Right. Spoiler. It's been out for 2 years, so sorry guys.
Yeah.
But it's falling from the sky, and all of these Nameless one Nameless, I guess, this creature is killing Jedi, turning them into husks, turning them into like crispy, burnt crust. Like the Jedi would just come across it and they would wither away and die. I mean, that's all that happened. Yeah. So you had quite a few Jedi killed there, and quite a few Jedi killed in Starlight Beacon, which is just big tragedy. Yeah. So you're right. That was definitely a moment. But in that situation, we were at war and we knew who we were fighting. Okay. So the Republic knows they're at war. And so there's a lot of conflicts just in terms of like battleships, and they're fighting the Nihil, and there's cruisers and different things. And this was the big sabotage situation. So that you're right. That was definitely a moment where the whole Republic, during the whole High Republic, a lot of Jedi are killed. I guess, I mean, this is like one situation where you have one culprit, one person responsible for all of these deaths. And we're investigating one person, a person who has killed 3 Jedi. Right. And that investigation led us to Kalnaka. We're wondering who her master is, who has trained her. Soul's already told them that there is a master to this individual. Yeah. And we already think that it must either be the master or the apprentice. And we think this is a Jedi. So I would go check the Jedi archives and see who's still alive, who is no longer in our order and left and went and trained somebody. I don't think he was once a Jedi. That would be weird. I don't think that he is a former Jedi.
But he seems to know what their code is, for sure. This is not for me. He seemed to know that.
Yeah, well, the thing is that like the Jedi are known to many people. I even had to excuse a little bit like the witches, and when what was her name? Osha, when she's there and she's like, I want to be a Jedi. Yeah. And then she's like, the Jedi are bad. And then she's like, the Jedi are good. Those little kids. They did a good job. I thought the kids did a good job.
Yeah, they did.
But I think during that moment, you could tell, okay, the galaxy knows about the Jedi. Yeah. Everyone knows about the Jedi and their code and what they stand for. You can access a lot of information on them. And it's the Sith that you should not be able to access a lot of information on. Yes, Sith prior to Darth Bane, like thousands of years ago, the old ancient Sith or Sith during the Old Republic or Knights of the Old Republic or whatever, that's fine. But as far as the Jedi believe, they went extinct. They
Right.
went extinct. And so the fact that they would still be living would not be cool. So the Sith could know about the Jedi and they could understand how they operate, and
Mhm.
they may even catch one. So the situation I brought up earlier, Darth Maul, where he captures a Jedi Padawan. What happens is Darth Sidious actually orchestrates this there's I think it's like the Zeraxis cartel. They kidnap or they get a hold of a Jedi Padawan. She's imprisoned. They have her, and they're going to sell her to the highest bidder. So like the Hutts are involved trying to get her. She's also a Twi'lek, so she, who knows if they
Okay.
want to make her a slave. And it's awful, right?
Yeah.
But Darth Sidious is like, oh, perfect opportunity. My Padawan, I can put him in a scenario where he will face this one Jedi and he will kill this Jedi, and that will be the moment where he can have a one-on-one duel,
Yeah.
kind of supervised by Daddy Palpatine.
Yeah.
Okay, he's overseeing it, and I kind of believe that comic doesn't actually. It kind of implies that if things would have gotten out of hand, Palpatine knows everything that's going on, because Maul comes back. He's like, "I'm sorry, I failed you. I did attack that Padawan," and he was like, "I know, and I wanted you to." And I want to, and do, are you satisfied? And Maul's like, no. And Palpatine's like, good. There's more to come, but also do not ever jeopardize my plans. I will feed you. Do not go feed yourself. He was warning him at the beginning of that comic book series, do not go towards those Jedi. Stop, cloak yourself in the Force. Do not reveal yourself to them. Come with me. Come back here. And then he says to him, like, I will literally take you out if you reveal me and my plans before I am ready. And then later on, he sets up a scenario where he can kind of supervise him versus this Padawan.
Okay.
Gives the Padawan a fighting chance. If the Padawan does make it and kills his apprentice clearly was not worthy. And then Palpatine would step in and say, sorry, Padawan, you've seen a red lightsaber. Zap.
Yeah.
You're dead. And so it has to be kind of this controlled situation where they're able to acquire some intel on the Jedi. They could even capture one, and one could go missing. Doesn't mean the Sith necessarily are out there. A Jedi went missing for some reason. Actually, a new book, it's called The Living Force. I don't, just to spoil some of this for you guys. Sorry. Spoilers for that book. It's only been out for probably 4 to 5 months, so I'm going to go real light spoilers on this. But one of the Jedi Masters, I will not say who, one of the Jedi Masters on our Jedi Council actually is kidnapped by pirates.
Oh,
Kidnapped by pirates. And I'm like, what? Come on. We're stronger than that.
Right.
Like, you can't, but it makes it more kind of like, okay, well, no, maybe, you know what I mean? Like, it's the Jedi aren't all powerful.
Yeah.
So yeah, we have one who is captured, and it's dicey for a second. We almost lose this individual. And it's a good book. I think it was a really good book. So it shows you that if pirates can capture a Jedi, the Sith can capture a Jedi, and they can kind of have one in their prison cells in which they're going to experiment, learn about them, study them, fight them, etc. So also, if Marchion Ro can do that as too with the Nihil and capture Loading Greatstorm, there's ways in which they can do it. And so Galaxy's huge. Makes a little bit of sense. Oh boy, fired up. Yeah. What do you think? It's a good
I was
episode.
going to ask you the same thing.
What do I think? Yeah, I think.
So you had fun watching it.
I had fun. Yeah, it was good. It was action packed. It was good. I'm interested to see what the rest of the internet is upset about and what they're happy about.
Right, nowadays, that's like, I don't know.
It's kind of more fun.
Weird
to
connection you have with everyone watching, and you just want to know, okay, what do they all think?
What do they think? Because this episode does sort of turn in a direction and a narrative that I think they all were like, it should be doing this. There's no way that can't happen, and it needs to they all need to die. All these Jedi need to die. I didn't think they thought that was going to happen. I think a lot of people who were saying and complaining about all these Jedi who were seeing a Sith with a red lightsaber, they were like, well, they all need to die. And I think a lot of people complaining about this were saying like they wouldn't they were making that complaint knowing full well in their mind that Disney wouldn't do that. They're not going to kill all these star Jedi that they're putting up in front of us and propagating up, or what they did.
Yeah.
They went ahead and did it, man. So I gotta say that is unexpected to me. That was actually a little bit unexpected. I think it's probably the right thing to do. And if the show is going to make any, progress and steps in that, I'm just interested to see where it goes.
Yeah,
so he still got me. Like I said, I'm kind of a medium thumb positive. And I know a lot of folks like you, for example, I mean, it's frustrating to watch that and say the good guys are all getting beat.
Yeah.
And the Jedi that we love and care about are getting killed. It's not cool. It's not cool. It's maybe not the show people thought it was going to be.
Yeah, but it also what bothers me a little bit is he's not like this ruthless. Well, maybe he is, and he's just doing a good job.
Yeah, covering it, masking it.
Covering it up. But I don't understand him yet, and I don't know. I have a hard time really getting to know him better.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a weird thing. I don't really care. Like it's not like, oh my, where did this guy come? That's crazy. I just always thought, if it's him, that's kind of
predictable.
boring.
It was kind of predictable. It was predictable that it was going to be him. So we actually all jumped to some pretty crazy conclusions, like, oh, it's going to be one of the witches. Like I did. I was like, it can't be Chimera. I mean, it's like, okay, that to me was so obvious that I was like, they're not going to actually do that, are they? They're going to hint at it that much, and then it's really him. It's going to be that easy to see.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was. And it's like, okay, we don't know anything about him either, and we don't really care about him. And he is, I think the best part for him was this episode where he just basically says, I'm no one.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yep.
I'm just dark. I'm just dark side dude. Like, as far as the Jedi are concerned, I don't exist.
Right.
And in the lore, when you look at all the different Sith Lords that everyone's like, well, could it be Darth Sidious? Could it be Darth Plagueis? Could it be Darth Tenebrous? And then when they get to Tenebrous, it's like a lot of people don't know who's before Tenebrous.
Right.
Or who's before that, or who's before. No, and part of it is once you go so many far back, there are none.
Yeah.
There actually is not a list. There are no names. There is no lore. So he actually is one of those guys.
Yeah.
He's one of those no-name individuals that we don't know who he is, at all. And that's the whole point, is you had to go back to that point in time where we have somebody who never had a name. And maybe his apprentice, I'm guessing now, that Darth Chimera or Darth, what were we calling Zipper Face? Darth, Darth Teeth? Something. They have a bunch of names for him online. But maybe his apprentice will be Darth Tenebrous, a name that we do know.
Okay.
Is this Bith Sith Lord? I'll show you a picture of him later, but maybe that's the one who it's going to be, because Darth Tenebrous's apprentice is Plagueis, and Plagueis' apprentice is Sidious. So we do know back that far. And I think they just went one beyond that.
Line up with the time that still has to pass until...
It's close, but it could. Yeah, it could. So...
Interesting.
All right, friends. Hey, that is it. Want to get a quick one in here, quick reaction. We're going to flip off here and see what everybody's going crazy about. Love you guys. Appreciate you. And everybody who's been writing into the show, honestly, appreciate you guys a lot. Thank you so much for just kind of tuning in, checking me out there on Yoda Stew at 77. Yoda Stew to 7. What is it again? Yoda Stew 77 over there on Instagram. And send me a message. I'd love to hear from more folks and see what you guys think. But I am satisfied. I'm satisfied. Anything else? Nothing for the greater good? No. Okay, cool. All right, friends. As always, may the Force be with you.
It's over, Commander.
Did you hear that?
Don't underestimate the Force.